Cheers! Hi everybody, it's Barbara and welcome back to my home for Corona Chronicles number 2. I don't know about y'all, but in my house, at 5 o'clock, it's cocktail hour. New Orleanians like to drink. Everybody knows New Orleanians like to drink. And it all starts back to our very beginnings. On the very first day that our French founders, Iberville and Bienville, set foot in Louisiana, they settled along the shores of the Mississippi River in a bend to set up camp for the night. The date was March the 3rd, 1699, and it happened to be Mardi Gras, and it was being celebrated back in their home country of France. So what did they do? They cracked open a bottle of wine to celebrate. Our original French settlers set the stage. They had a joie de vivre, laissez-faire attitude about life, and they enjoyed everything pleasurable. Eating, dancing, gambling, and drinking fit in quite well. They had a fondness for wines and fine wines, but New Orleans' climate, being hot and humid, was not very conducive to growing the proper types of grapes. So most of the wines that they drank was imported in from France, especially the hardier, more fortified wines like sherries and ports. Because of their fondness for wines, they also liked spirits that were distilled from wines, such as brandies and cognacs. Rum became popular a little bit later on. Rum is distilled from sugarcane, and sugarcane was grown in great abundance in the Caribbean, especially in Haiti, which was another French colony and an active trading partner with Louisiana, so it was very easy to come by. Now, whiskey really didn't make its way into the colony until later on, after the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, when those Americans living in the original 13 colonies over on the East Coast made their way down into the city. So, because New Orleanians like to drink, I guess it's no surprise that a lot of cocktails lay claim to the fact that New Orleans is their birthplace. As a matter of fact, New Orleans' first cocktail, the Sazerac, was invented here. That's given claim to, or given credit to a gentleman by the name of Antoine Peychaud. Antoine was a Frenchman who made his way into New Orleans via Haiti, and Antoine was an apothecary, and he set up shop on Royal Street. You can think of an apothecary shop as today's urgent care center. People only went to doctors if they had major maladies, like a broken bone or they needed a surgery. But you went to an apothecary for everyday ailments like nausea, fevers, or headaches. And they would go to Antoine's shop, and he would serve what he called a tonic he called bitters, because it was very bitter to the taste. And it was made out of alcohol and botanicals, such as plants and flowers and roots. And he served it to his patients during the day, but in the evening he served it up as a recreational beverage to his friends. And he mixed it with a little bit of cognac. So it was cognac as bitter, sugar, and a little bit of water. And he served it in half of what the French called a coquetier, an egg cup, a boiled egg cup. So his friends would come over and say, "Hey, Antoine, give me one of those drinks in that coquetier." And over time, coquetier morphed into cocktail, which morphed into cocktail. So they would say, "Give me one of them cocktail drinks." What happened a few years later was one of the exchanges, the Merchants Exchange Coffee House, and let me just say, back then a coffee house normally was a coffee house in the morning, but they served alcoholic beverages at night, so they were a bar at night. So this coffee house took Antoine's original recipe, and they used a specific brand of cognac called the Sazerac brand of cognac, and they added absinthe, which was very popular back then as well, along with his bitters and a little bit of sugar and water, and they named it the Sazerac cocktail. So then the Sazerac cocktail was invented, and they eventually changed the name of their establishment to the Sazerac Bar. In 2008, the City Council named the Sazerac New Orleans official cocktail of the city. And it has been very popular and still is very popular. But there were many other cocktails that came to be in the city after that. The Brandy Crusta, the Ramos Gin Fizz, the Grasshopper, the Vieux Carré, the Pimm's Cup, the Hurricane. All of these lay claim to New Orleans as being their birthplace. So I'm going to go sit out on my patio right now with my favorite Quarantini. And I'll see you next time.